So, hi, Facebook, YouTube family, not Facebook. I am here with my special guest. Um, and so we're going to do part two. So you get two videos back to back. So, so we're gonna first start this off with Kinky. This is Grown Up Kinky Part Two. We're gonna start this off with pretty much vanilla, so we can ease him into it. Because, like I said, he's very shy. And so for my Black Kitten channel, the last time they saw you, you were kind of young.
Very young.
Very young. And you and I did like a collaboration of songs um, that we was rocking out to. Somebody actually contacted me to like do some voice singing covers. You actually started your own YouTube channel as well. And because you was going through some emotional stuff of going from a baby to a teenager. And you do, what else? You tell my channel, what else do you like to do? Like, besides, being annoyed by your mother.
Well.
First of all, let's tell them how old you are now.
I'm 72 years young.
Well, God.
Well, I work part-time.
He's 13.
Yeah, exactly, 72 years young.
Okay.
I work part-time in the food eating business. It's a really riveting, accentuating business that I honestly find that everybody should look into, and it gets highly underrated.
Okay. and besides eating, when you turn, I am very proud as a mom that when you turned 13, that you kind of like went to the kitchen and was like, Mom, you don't have to cook for me anymore, which was really awesome. You do experiment a lot with cooking. Sometimes he's in love with cumin, guys. Like, you can smell it throughout the house. You do some music as well.
Yes, very rarely, but.
And you do some graphic designing. This is stuff that you're supposed to be saying.
Yes.
And guys,
just like a bunch of entertainment, pretty much.
So yes, he's into very much entertaining writing, because I was also a writer, as if you guys do know. If you come and follow me on Facebook with Madam Natasha Dungeon, you will see some of my writing. And I've been writing since I was 7. And so now we're going to get into the kinky part, or basically real sex ed 101. So with me and you. So let's talk about So as you know, I like to dominate people.
Yes.
Okay. And so you have had, some experiences where I've had dominated people around you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you also remember, like, there were situations with your stepdad, aka Tim. And you also remember that there were, when we first moved here and Tim moved away from us, that, I still used to have people come in, wash the dishes, trim the yard, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Very
Okay.
very vaguely.
Okay. And so when you, was around that or witnessed that, how did you used to feel about that? So this is what this is kind of about.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I didn't think about it too much. I just thought, oh, yeah, they're helping out. Yeah, go teamwork. Yeah.
Okay. And so now that you're older and you understand a little bit more and you come into your own and stuff like that, and you have kind of sort of similar interests, like we had a handcuff incident 2 years ago, where he took handcuffs to school.
Yes.
And they were my handcuffs, one of my favorite handcuffs, because I like black handcuffs, real handcuffs. Well, first let me set it up,
Okay.
and then you can tell the story. So when I got the phone call, they didn't clarify what actually happened. It was a couple of days later, like 3 days later. All they said over the phone was Lucius handcuffed some girls. I'm sorry, not Lucius. My son had handcuffed some girls. And so, in my mind, as a mom, and knowing that my son is starting to come into his little own, I was like, yes! Okay.
Did I do that?
So I was like, yes. And I was like, my son's a pimp. So, anyway. And it wasn't until like 3 days later that I got the truth. So I'm going to now turn over to him and let him tell the story, and then we can continue on from there. So tell him the story.
So, okay, so, me and my friends were, uh, teenage idiots.
Pre-teenage.
Pre-teenage idiots. I was 11.
Yeah.
So, me and my friends, we were just being a fool, acting stupid, and I was like, hey, dude, what if, like, we pretended to get arrested? And so I brought the handcuffs to school, and I showed everybody. I was like, everybody, look at this. We will handcuffs.
See, this is a new part of the story that I didn't hear. But okay, go ahead.
During lunchtime, we had two of our friends who were older than us take the handcuffs, bring them to their table, and immediately I was like, I wonder how this is going to play out. So, next thing I knew, I was eating. This was around, like, lunchtime. I was eating, having my gourmet meal, and I hear that two girls handcuff themselves tightly, very, very tightly. And me and all my friends were just like, aha! Ah! Ah! And that's pretty much what happened. They couldn't get the handcuffs off, and I had specifically told them I didn't have the key. So, they had to call the fire department, which I thought was hilarious. Because imagine how they must have felt, right? Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, man, these kids out in the wild, handcuffing each other. They should probably save this. So, it's pretty much what happened. That's it.
All right. So now, when I got the phone call and they was like, "Oh, your son's a pimp," and he handcuffed these girls together, I actually heard them cutting through my handcuffs, and so my soul kind of left my body, and I was kind of crying because I felt that the school should have called me first. Like, I always had my handcuff key on me, and I didn't know that he had taken it, had snuck him out the house and taken him to school, and so. But like I stated, it was a couple of days later before I got that story. Well, part of that story, because there's some new development, of course, and so I was also I was actually out of because we had just moved from the capital of Texas to where we are now, and so I had actually that day I had came back over like an hour and a half away. So when they called me, I was over on this side of town instead of being in Austin in the central. So before I can actually talk to assistant principal, it was 3 days later, and when I went to pick him up, we're on our way driving back on this side of town. I started having this conversation about consent, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, and how we don't handcuff people without their consent, and I went into dispute because again I didn't know what actually happened because all I heard was my son handcuffed a girl, and I'm up here like, oh, my son is a pimp right now, and he a player, And so
Madam, may I handcuff you?
so I felt like it was a need at that particular time to talk to him about consent. And we don't do things to certain people, we don't do things to people without their consent. And we don't tie girls up, and etc., etc., etc. While 3 days went by, I was trying to figure out how I was going to explain why there was handcuffs in my house, and why does my son have it.
I don't think they questioned it though.
No, they did not. This principal was really cool. I just came up with something out of the blue, like, because it wasn't partially not true, which was, that I did security for events. Which I had just did that like the summer prior. And so they didn't ask anything about it. They brought it 100%. And the principal actually was laughing with me, because she said as soon as she got home after that event, that her son had some toy handcuffs, and she immediately took them from him. So she's like, no, not today, not today.
You won't be handcuffing anyone for your own pleasure or not.
So that's basically how she handled that. And it was pretty much, it was like, it wasn't so much they had handcuffed themselves tightly as because they were struggling. And so by the time they had walked to the office, the handcuffs was almost had cut their wrists. And so him and his crew, as well as the girls, had to write apology letters to the fire department.
Did we?
Yes, y'all had suspension. You don't remember?
No, I do not remember that.
Yeah, y'all had suspension. It's cool. And y'all had to for 3 days. Remember, you had to go Saturday school and stuff.
I did. Did I?
Yes.
I did?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
And write an apology letter. That's what they said was the punishment. Which they could have easily called the cops, and the cops would have had the key, and
they did call the cops.
So I don't know why they had the handcuff to cut the cuffs, because they could have easily unlocked it. So that was that story. Now I also was so I don't want to get into too much of your personal business. I know that you're very shy and stuff like that, but I did state on the previous video that I just uploaded, that I don't really try to genderify you. I don't try to stick you into a gender. And so I don't try to make you identify as a girl or a boy or straight or gay or anything like that. So how do you feel about it?
It's fine. I mean, it's open. It's definitely thoughtful and open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, last time I checked, I was a boy.
Okay. Last time you checked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even though sometimes you do like girly things, like we're right now all into Bath and Body Works. We don't have to say why.
Okay, that's not even a girly thing. I just know how to take care of myself, and I'm not a heathen that uses 3-in-1 shampoo.
Or some of the scents that you like are fit more for females.
To smell nice. I don't want to smell like the mountains. What does the mountains even smell like? I've never been outside. I couldn't tell you, but I know that the mountains don't smell like that.
Okay, so there goes that answers to that question. So, okay, and so again, don't want to really go into your business, but okay. So I have been very open. And I have, even when you was growing up, I can say, even when he was growing up around the environment, that you've had some tendencies like mine. We have kind of similar, not big similarities, but little small, minute similarities. He has anger issues.
I used to.
He used to have a lot of anger issues, and so. Again, I don't want to really get in too much in his business, because like I said, he's shy and stuff like that. This is this is us normal. When we talk. You understand. You have always been like that ever since you was younger. He's always brought up interesting topics and stuff like that, and we've had powwows. I consider them powwows, and where we talked in depth. So now that, like, I have, like, downloaded, giving you a book one time, because, um,
I don't remember that, but
you remember I downloaded the T&G manual, Screw the Roses.
yes, I didn't read it, but yes.
Okay, so you can also talk about how you felt about that if you like.
I felt insulted. How dare you give me the manual?
Why did you feel insulted?
How dare you give me the manual? Nobody reads the manual. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you give me the manual?
I can't with him. Okay, nobody reads the manual.
Nobody reads the manual. Everybody learns. Everybody who's anybody knows that they learn from 50 Shades of Grey. Everybody knows that. That's a joke. Don't take me seriously, but don't.
So he says cut that part out, but we're gonna leave it in. But anyway, so we do know. Okay, so me speaking of that movie, and you're a teenager, and again, being because I also on people who are watching it, I did speak about that movie. I did eventually watch it. I gave reviews about it. I think you watched it on your own, or did you?
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it on my own.
Okay, and he watched it on his own, and from again being from. Now this is a child, so if y'all don't believe that a child that it's a bad movie as far as the lifestyle, and this is a child that grew up is growing up kinky, and with his views. Now we're going to go into his view of from what he has experienced and saw around him, what he knows, and the movie. So go.
50 Shades of Grey is possibly the worst movie of all humanity. It's so bad. It's so bad, and it does such a bad job of representing the community itself. If it was up to me, I would just basically say it's for the wine moms and college girls in sweatpants. That's pretty much it.
Okay, and why do you say that?
Because it's so wrong. It's so wrong.
So we understand it's wrong. You understand that what you just said is that it's horrible. So can you pinpoint a point in the movie that you was like, you stupid?
The part in the movie where Christian, my memory of this movie is very vague, so excuse me, but Christian was like, I'm just like this. This is how I am. Didn't give any explanation, and he said that he had a bad childhood, as if to say that everybody has a bad childhood, and painting this bad picture. But or that time that or the time that they met. One thing that I hate is the writing. There's no chemistry between the two. It's just oh yeah, I'm gonna give you a bunch of stuff. Oh my god, I'm so in love. Wow. I think there's one time in one scene that I can say was probably the best scene ever.
And which one is that?
So
the toys room that they never used.
Yeah, they never used it though. Nah, I can't. I won't say.
Okay. Okay. He's gonna leave that part out. Okay, it might not be PG. All right. All right. So, is there anything you want to tell well, of course we both wanna, and the disclaimer. I should have done this in the beginning.
Yeah, made a disclaimer.
So the disclaimer is now that I know. Well, I did in the beginning of the first one, so I know where shape and form, and he can testify that agreed to pedophilism. I know where shape and form agreed to incest, or anything like that. I am into I do believe in education, though. Parents sitting here and talking to their children, like me and him is talking to each other. I do encourage that. I do, like as you heard from his mouth, to be open as a parent is important. Do you think that's important to you? To be able to let you express yourself and not really try to stick. You boy, you can't play with dolls because it's for girls. You think?
Yeah.
You have to play with toy trucks. So,
How dare you?
you know what I mean.
Yes, I know.
But, so this is all from me and my mini me, for tonight. And we can talk. Well, I'm going to try to, like, bring him on the show because he has been pretty much a bubble boy before the pandemic. And we've been homeschooling and etc. Before the pandemic, and so and there's so much things that are going on in the world and has been going on with us personally. We've lost somebody very dear to us. Um, we 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 miss them terribly. It has been affecting us as far as sleep is concerned. So it's like 5:16 in the morning, and we're like partying
Okay.
like rock stars
Here's
right
the
now.
I choose to be a vampire.
Okay. All right. So we can go and get into like spirituality, and we've also had that talk, and it wasn't recorded, but we can revisit that talk again
Talk
about spirituality and stuff, if you like.
like religion.
Yeah. How we talked about that. We can talk about. We'll talk. If he likes, he's consensual. That we can talk about. Also that is also a part of growing up. Period. Not even about growing up tricky. It's just about growing up. Period. Is there anything you'd like to add to this video? Because it is kind of long, and I'm not sure if anyone's going to watch all of this. It's 22.20.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm blind.
Mhm.
No, nothing to add.
You don't have nothing to add?
No.
Do you have any questions for?
Actually, I do have
Okay.
something to add. This has nothing to do with the video, by the way. Just want to get that out there.
Okay.
Movie nachos aren't real nachos. Movie nachos are chips and crappy dip. Movie nachos are a lie.
And that's his answer. So, again, everyone, we thank you for watching this long video. And as always, we want you, me, and him. We want you to love yourself, forgive yourself, be true to yourself, be kind to yourself, forgive others, and always make the most of your day. What is your day one? Take care for now. Bye bye. And he's acts like we don't have people living downstairs. Bye.